Hi there, welcome to Life and the Bump. My name is Anna, nice to meet you. As you probably guessed, I am currently pregnant and this video is a recap of my first trimester. In this recap video, I'll be sharing about how I feel physically, how I feel mentally, the food, doctor, clothes, just my thoughts, anything and everything related to the first trimester. So if you are currently pregnant or hoping to get pregnant soon, or whatever your reason is to be watching this video, keep watching. All right, the first area that I wanted to cover is how I've been feeling physically. I am now on my week 15 of pregnancy, so it is already the second trimester. Hopefully the scary, the most difficult, at least for me, first trimester has passed. I am feeling better and better every day, so I'm hopeful, but let me tell you, the first trimester was so rough for me. The morning sickness, which is actually the all-day sickness, was pretty bad for me. It was very difficult for me to function. I had to start taking medication, which thankfully helped pretty well, but without that I just couldn't function. Plus I had absolutely no energy. This was a very weird adjustment to me because I am not the person to like take naps during the day, to like go to bed early, like anything like that. So for me to all of a sudden have so little energy that I just would come home from work, fall asleep on the couch, then wake up, brush my teeth and go back to sleep. And for me to like be sleeping for like 12 to 14 hours a day, it's crazy. It's so not me, and I had a really hard time adjusting to that, and like finding my peace was the fact that my body just needs to rest. I felt like I was wasting time, that I wasn't being productive, and yeah, it was hard. I know I've touched on nausea already, but it was just such a big part of my first trimester, starting from week 6, and I think it just stopped on maybe week 14, but it was very hard. I feel like a lot of the like throwing up was very like in my head, or at least like I would wake up and I had to go to work, so I would be super nauseous, but I didn't have time to go throw up and be nauseous, so I had to like pull it together and go to work. Otherwise I think it would be a lot worse, but then I just wasn't feeling good until I got the medication. Probably one of the first symptoms of pregnancy that started to change even before I knew that I was pregnant was the like extra sensitivity to smells. I am still very sensitive to smells. I don't think any of the smells necessarily like make me feel super nauseous or anything like that, or make me sick, but so many smells are just so strong that I am like, I need to remove myself. I need to like go outside or to a different room. Just couldn't, like seafood was one of the biggest things that I was like, oh my god. And I love seafood. I still think I do, I just haven't been eating it to just not mess with the whole like pregnancy and changing of taste and preference thing, but smelling the seafood, cooked seafood, is very hard. Like I want nothing to do with this. I feel like to this day, even though I'm on my 15th week of pregnancy, I don't have my appetite back. I can eat. I've been eating, but I probably am eating more because I know that I need to, and then sometimes I feel nauseous just because I haven't eaten, which is, I don't think that's necessarily a pregnancy thing. That's just like a normal body thing for me. But I'm not like, oh my god, I'm so hungry, or I'm like really craving something, or very barely. Like, I know I've been really liking fruit, but that's about it. Like, I'm not hungry ever. I don't have my appetite, nothing. It's like very difficult to be like, oh, let's do this and this for dinner, because I'm like, nothing just sounds good. And like, nothing really sounds like disgusting either, but just not good. Like, don't care what to eat, I guess. Since the beginning of pregnancy, I've lost close to 10 pounds. I talked to my doctor about it, and she said that I don't need to worry about it. I just need to make sure that I'm doing whatever I need to do to be able to function, and taking prenatal vitamins, and then like everything else it's gonna come. Also, side note, I know the lighting is horrible and I'm like in the shade and in the sun, but outside just seems really nice, and I've been trying to spend as much time outside as I can. So this is where I chose to record this video. The next point on my list of things to cover is body changes. At week 15, I finally can see and can tell that I got a little baby bump, and that's really cute. That's really exciting. I'm proud of it, and I'm happy, and I like my bump, but that just happened maybe like a week ago. Before that, I had like absolutely no like body changes in terms of I didn't feel more bloated, I didn't look more bloated, I could fit in all my regular clothes. The only thing is my boobs got bigger, but that's about it. Now I can finally enjoy the little bump, and now I feel like, at least to me and to my friends, that's pretty obvious that I didn't just have a big dinner, but I'm pregnant. So that's really cute. I love that, and I keep catching myself subconsciously just walking around like rubbing and, you know, my belly. That was my dog. My dog's being really cute and silly right now. Next thing, food. Okay, like I said, I still don't feel like I have my appetite back. I've been eating a lot of watermelon, a lot of just all kinds of fruit, just because, I don't know, I always like fruit and it just seems easy. I don't have to cook it, doesn't smell too strong, it's refreshing. So I've been eating a lot of that. Watermelon definitely makes me go pee even more than usually, but that's okay. I still really enjoy my watermelon. I eat probably one every 2 to 3 days. When I just found out that I was pregnant, I had the 2 really good weeks where I felt really good. I didn't have any like morning sickness or nausea or any other symptoms. And that's when my husband and I were really trying to figure out what changes we need to make in pregnancy, and started Googling all the things that you can and cannot eat. And like, that was pretty crazy. Like, we knew the whole like no raw meat, no raw fish, raw eggs, like all that stuff, but just like the amount of other like little things that you can and cannot eat and drink is just so crazy. It's very overwhelming at first, and then there's also, once you start Googling that, there's also like all the foods that are so good for you and for pregnancy and for the baby. So then when I started not feeling good and I could not eat anything, I felt very guilty, because I felt like my baby, like during the such like important time of the development, like the first of super early stages, is not getting enough like vitamins or nutrients or whatnot. So it just like added to the whole anxiety and like emotional stress thing, because I just felt like I need to be doing more for the baby and I just couldn't. When I talked to my OB about that, they said to not even worry about it, that it's gonna be fine. I just need to make sure that I'm eating whatever I can eat, and I need to focus on myself and me feeling better, and that the baby will be fine. And then now that I'm finally feeling better, we are slowly starting to figure out like the good or better things that I could be eating, just to get those nutrients back into my system and to the baby. Next is medical stuff. I called my OB as soon as I found out that I was pregnant, and that was not even 4 weeks, and they originally wouldn't see me until 10 weeks, and they called it the pregnancy confirmation appointment, but only at 10 weeks. And I was like, what about like now? Can you like confirm now that I'm pregnant? And they said that there's just no point. They prefer to not see their patients earlier than like 10 weeks, because sometimes the baby is just so tiny that sometimes it's really hard to see, and all that. And then I started obviously Googling, because I was like, that's way too long. That's way longer than I wanted to wait. And I also had a really big travel coming up to visit my family that happens to live across the planet from me. So it was really important for me to have that ultrasound photos and have the good confirmation before we go, so I can tell my family the news in person. So I finally convinced my OB to see me at 8 weeks. That was right before our trip. I'm really not sure why the receptionist at my doctor's office was so set on 10 weeks, because at 8 weeks they had no problem with that ultrasound. We saw the baby, we saw the heart, actually saw it moving. We obviously heard it, everything was good. We got our confirmation and got my pills so I can feel better. So I don't know why they were so set to not see me until 10 weeks, until I actually got a hold of my OB and was like, hey, do you think you can see me earlier? That's really important to me. And then they did. First ultrasound was definitely unreal. It was really crazy to see the baby. I think we both teared up, and we have a video of that ultrasound. So then we were rewatching that video every day, and that's when we finally felt comfortable starting to tell our close friends. So that felt also really nice, that we didn't have to hide or not share the important news with our close people that are important. At the next appointment at about 12 weeks, we had our doctor prescribe the blood test. There's 2 parts to that, at least for us it was, and we're in Nevada, USA. One part is that the blood test that checks my levels of everything and make sure that my body is healthy and can handle the pregnancy well. And then they said that if we want, we can also do the early genetic testing that's also done via blood draw, so that they test on things like Down syndrome and quite a few actually other big ones, and that will also be able to tell us the gender. That test is not very cheap, but we decided, we knew right away that we wanted to take that test. We wanted to be genetically tested just to be as prepared as we can be, and just to have all the information that we can get. So we got tested. We had to wait for almost 3 weeks. Everything came back like perfectly good, like no problems, no like signs or reasons to worry. So that was super nice. Pretty expensive, but like I would definitely do it again and again if I needed to, because it gave us both such a peace of mind that everything is okay with the baby. It was important for us, and it was absolutely worth it. My husband also ordered a baby Doppler for us, even though when we asked our OB, she said that she usually doesn't recommend getting those because they're not that great, like of a quality, the Dopplers that you can, you know, just buy for home, and sometimes it's just hard and you might not be able to like find the heartbeat, and then it like freaks the parents out and stresses out, and there's actually absolutely nothing wrong. It's just that it wasn't like the Doppler, the signal wasn't strong enough for you to hear anything. But my husband really wanted the Doppler, wanted the like opportunity for us to listen to the baby, so he got it anyways, and we had no problem finding the heartbeat from like the first time we tried. So that's really nice. Every night now, maybe like every other night, we're like, can we say hi to the baby, and like we'll go and listen to the baby's heartbeat like in the morning or at night before we go to bed, and that's just, it's just really cute, and it, you know, it just means a lot. Really the last point on my list for this video is the like emotional state during this first trimester of pregnancy, and it hasn't been easy. Even though we wanted this pregnancy, it was planned, we decided that we were ready and stuff, it was still unexpected. The way it happened, how fast it happened, and then all of a sudden, like for me, I'm such a planner. I like to know what's happening. I like to like have a plan for everything. I like to know that I'm good. To like for me, all of a sudden to be realizing that, okay, now we have a baby on the way and things are gonna have to change. Like, I am a restaurant manager. My husband is a kitchen manager in restaurants too, and realizing that it would be very difficult for me to keep my job and keep my career in restaurant management and be pregnant and then have that baby, and then what? So I just felt like I needed to come up with like a different plan on what to do and like how to make money. And then I just wasn't feeling good, so I didn't have the energy for anything other than the like bare minimum that I had to do. So that was giving me that extra anxiety of like I'm wasting time. That was really hard, and I can only imagine it was also, and it still is, hard for my husband. I cannot even tell you how lucky I am with him. He takes care of me. He tries to like make me little like snack boxes to take to work so I can like at least like snack on something, and he's constantly checking on me, and he is just constantly cleaning up after me because I just do not have the energy for much these days. So I'm really lucky to have that support and to feel so loved and supported in this pregnancy. But then also there are things that no matter what he does and no matter how much he takes care of me, that will be stressing me out just because of who I am and how I am. And so like the future uncertainty, it was definitely and still is a huge like emotional factor for me. Pregnancy is not easy. It's not easy mentally, it's not easy physically. We're excited anyways. There's just a lot of layers to what's happening. And I think it's probably time for me to finish up this first trimester recap. I wanted to finish on just like sharing some of my thoughts. I was absolutely not enjoying this pregnancy up until like a week and a half ago. It's getting better now. I'm not feeling miserable all the time, but the first from week 6 to week like probably 13, I was like, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how like women go through this and then want to have a second child or multiple. Like, I don't think that will be me. I'm not enjoying this time and what's happening with my body and with me in general. And then I felt like really weird and guilty because I feel like that's not a very popular opinion. At least not a single person that I've ever like had in my life that was pregnant ever told me that they hate it and they like are absolutely not enjoying what's going on. Everyone's like, oh yeah, pregnancy is so amazing and it's just so magical and you're growing life and all. So I just felt like guilty to even like have the thoughts that I was having. So I just wanted to put it out there. It is okay to not be enjoying this. It's gonna pass. It will get better, or it'll change, but it's okay. You don't have to just be absolutely in love with what's happening if that's not how you feel. It is your body, it's your life, your experience, and you have all the rights to feel what you feel and not to be guilty and not to feel bad about having the feelings and the emotions that you're having. Okay, that was it for the first trimester pregnancy recap. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel. That will mean the world to me, and I will see you soon with more pregnancy and the bump videos.